The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Assemble! You are watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books, and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you stick with us. Let me take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he's our riddle. Inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
Indeed. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
What's up?
He's not here right now, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. Our friggin' intrepid senior reporter, next in line for the cowl, our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz. Right. Exactly.
Damn it. I have a picture I could just post of him. But
I'm sure it's very unflattering.
No, he's just smiling.
But it's Oz smiling. So that makes it unflattering.
He's got a beautiful smile.
I don't know. I've seen it. I'm playing Oz. I know Oz is watching, like, if you. And that's for myself.
He's on the toilet.
Oh, wow.
Smiling.
Oz will be here a little bit later. And as for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today, because we are going to be talking to you all about Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and we are going to be talking to you all about Starnge number 1 and 2. So, and of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. So we'll tell you how it is you can get down with us and do that in just a moment. But before we do, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show wouldn't have happened. So thanks, Scott. Hope you're doing well, good sir. And yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and tell you how it is you can get down with Fantastic Forum.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
FantasticForum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Thank you very much, intern. Making it look easy, making it sound easy. Like she said, go ahead and join the party. You can jump onto FantasticForum.live, hit the call-in button, and you can go ahead and join the show that way. Or if you want to jump into chat, whether that be through YouTube or through Twitch chat, we'll take your comments directly out of chat, bring them into the show, such as Jay. Insert a witty chat comment right here, buddy.
Tiger Claw says, what's up, Fantastic Forum? How about that mid-credit scene? Things are going to get edgy.
Man, Tiger Claw's like, let's go straight for the spoilers.
He assumes it's Sonic. Like, is he talking about Moon Knight?
I don't know. I haven't, I don't know.
No, he's talking Sonic. He said edgy.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, there you go.
Moon Knight's edgy.
I know some that would disagree.
The edge of boredom.
Damn! Wow! Shots fired. Have you all seen episode 3 of Moon Knight?
It keeps me at the edge of my seat because I'm about to leave the room. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen episode 2. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
How about
I've
you, Jay?
been so busy watching other shows that I haven't had the chance.
That's fair. So have you not seen 2 either?
No.
Oh, okay. I've seen episode 2.
Oh, okay.
What were you gonna say? But what?
I've seen From. that just ended. That season just ended, and things are like, man, they're so lost. I assume this is what you guys went through when the season of Lost aired, because everything is like, man, like what's going on? And well, I don't want to say too much about what is there, just in case Lawrence watches it. He might not.
He'll watch it. We're gonna
Probably
review it
won't.
in its entirety, probably in a month or so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you still haven't even watched the first episode?
I have not.
What about Young Justice? Are you up to date on that yet?
I'm not up to date, but I'm in the vicinity.
But you make time for Moon Knight.
I mean, I haven't seen the third episode.
That just came on today.
Sneeze attack. I'm allergic to this line of questioning. Look, what I will say is this. Obviously, with Moon Knight, it's like I'm at a point here where it's like I can watch it one at a time, and then that's it. It's like Young Justice, I have to binge to catch up. And so, I'm not that far behind. Like I feel like I might only be like maybe 3 episodes out or something like that, but we'll see. What's Tiger Claw saying?
Tiger Claw says, I need to watch Moon Knight when I have the chance. It's just I've been in the Sonic mood all week. And I get that. I get that.
No, but what does that even mean though? Like, it's like Sonic mood all week. So was he went and watched it again, or what?
He hasn't stopped watching it since it came out.
Well, there's more than just watching. There's watching. There's
playing the game,
community stuff. Like he's probably like been watching like the Sonic tubers talking about the movie, and like a bunch of new cast interviews have come out since the opening.
Now, when you say Sonic tubers, these are YouTube people that speak on Sonic, like dedicated?
Or mainly?
Yeah, like maybe they have a channel that's dedicated to Sonic. And then their other channels are other stuff.
And that I definitely, I'm not saying it like Sonic shouldn't have a YouTube channel dedicated to him. I think it was the multiples that threw me off. Like when he was like,
oh yeah,
Sonic tubers. It's like, what? Like, there's not that much Sonic news, right?
No, but it's not about news. They could do like a let's play or my favorite moments or there's a lot to talk about in Sonic all the time.
Yeah. There's always something Sonic to talk about.
Like just last week, one was talking shit that Larry didn't know who his girlfriend was.
I heard about that. What is it, Rosalita?
So Tiger Claw says, I've been watching reaction videos about the new Sonic movie. I watched videos of people reacting to the post-credit scene. I love watching YouTube videos of Sonic characters being YouTubers. Which reminds me, Tails recently started a log. Damn it.
A channel?
Yeah. Well, not a channel, but a show. So he basically is doing like the whole VTuber thing on the Sonic official channel.
Oh.
Which
is it the voice from the movie?
I believe so. Sounds the same to me, but my ears are fucked. You know that.
I don't know who the voice for the movie is. I
think the name is Shaughnessy.
Oh, okay. Like, is that someone famous?
I don't know who's famous and who isn't.
That's hilarious. That's a good.
We're the number one rated show in the country.
Say what?
Joe thinks we're the number one rated show in the country. He thanks me every time. Thanks for bringing me on, man. I love being a part of this. He gets disappointed when they don't give him free coffee at Starbucks.
Colleen O'Shaughnessy.
Right.
Oh, she's a voice actress.
Duh.
No, I mean, but like that's like her profession, it seems.
So what else?
She's known as the voice of Sora in Digimon anime.
Oh, nice.
Jazz Fenton and Danny Phantom. Wasp in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Oh, that was a good voice.
And Ino in the Naruto anime. Okay. Well, good for them.
They took credit for that, huh?
Wait a minute. Why are you saying it like that? What are you talking about? You don't like Ino?
Seriously, Like when her role, well, let's not get into how big or
This
how
isn't
essential or unessential her role is.
What? Wait, why are you talking like Ino's not like a main part of Naruto?
I mean, she's there, but so's Sakura.
Wait, so you're one of those people where you're like, oh, Sakura is not an important part of Naruto either. Okay, so if you're one of those people, then I understand why you feel the way you feel about Ino, because you're a misogynist. Got it. Got it. Okay. I was like, I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? Like, I mean, I was literally gonna say, like, outside of like Sakura, she's probably the main, like, female ninja. Like, after you get to like Shippuden, right? But if you're like, well, Sakura's not really doing that much, then again, we can agree to disagree on that. But yeah, so no, she's yeah. I mean, I didn't know her name, but now I do. So, and from what I've heard from Miles, look, I'm talking to like we're on a first name basis. Well, I know, when Miles and I have conversations, it's great, and the voice sounds spectacular. So it feels like Miles.
Alfonso says Sakura is useless, and it only gets worse from there. The swing gets more screen time than most of them.
Not the swing. The swing does get a lot of screen time, though. Now, listen, I'm not here to debate with people about Naruto right now. I'm not saying that's not something that is outside the realm of this show, because that feels very much like a Fantastic Forum conversation to be had one of these days when we want to.
I wish we were all current to talk about it.
I mean, on Naruto.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Like, I don't even know why I'm even having this conversation with Joe. Joe's never finished Naruto. Joe doesn't know anything about Naruto. Joe put me into Naruto, and I was like, Joe, man, this joint's amazing, man. Have you seen the? He's like, oh, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm like, wait, what?
He put me
in the capacity to be flogging me about From.
He gave me like 4 volumes of DVDs, and he had only watched 2 of them.
Joe just be collecting stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, you have to tear the plastic off those last 2. It's okay. I'm good with it. With it.
I actually did have that. I had that experience with Jay, but not with Naruto. I had it with Justice League Unlimited. So it's like he let me borrow all the DVDs, and I'm like, Jay, you haven't watched this? Oh, I saw the episodes. I just haven't cracked that open. You want me to do it? He's like, yeah, go for
it. Jay's a good guy like that. He doesn't get all caught up in the whole like, oh well, it's mine, so I need to open it.
Well, I open it like as soon as I get out of the store. Well, back then, the Best Buy. Yeah, just open it and probably never watch it. And yeah, I opened it.
I was like that with CDs.
Yeah.
But with DVDs, I didn't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have
as soon as I got to the parking, like got in the car, I would just open them all up. Like regardless of whether I was going to listen to them or not. Just
interesting.
I have this CD right here. I cracked it open, got it in the mail, took the plastic off, never heard it.
He's like, one of these days.
Yeah. I've heard the album digitally, but not like the actual CD.
Well, I mean, I feel like I could understand that in this day and age where it's like, you can buy something physically and have a digital option and just be like, it's easier to go that route, right? Like, I feel like that happened to me with a game. Like, I feel like I bought a game and didn't play it all the way up until the point where it ended up being given away for free, whether that was like Xbox Live or, or like, like how they give you, how it goes, like with those systems, like, or whether you talk about PlayStation.
Deals.
Yeah, they just give you games, right? And I'm like, man, I'd have messed around and waited till I can just download this bad boy. I wasted that $45 because I didn't. Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of free games, Black Desert is free on Steam until possibly earlier this morning.
That's a
Yeah.
joke. Deal.
It's like a Joe deal. Look, it was
Keep
you
your
could have,
money.
but you didn't. But you didn't because you're not
I
on
mean,
top of it.
We posted the news in our Discord, so
Yeah.
anyone that was in there would have gotten that news like a week ago.
There you go. There you go. Join our Discord. It's like, right? Like, you're definitely going to get access to the Fantastic Forum if you do. Join our Discord. It's worth it. It's a community now. So so come join it and thrive.
I tried to be in there, like I tried posting and stuff, but the members are so toxic.
Exactly. I hear that.
Tiger Claw says, so all three of you guys seen Sonic 2? Was the theater packed? Because I would imagine the energy in that room being 100% when certain moments happen. So we should actually probably just hit the music and go into Sonic 2.
Okay, let's do
we
it.
We don't have video game theater music, but comic one worked,
Do
right?
I have it?
No, we never made a video game theater theme, so we can do. We have a movie review that should work.
Yeah.
Comic book theater. Comic book theater.
All right. So, Sonic 2. Oh, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Actually, we weren't talking about you, Oz. We were talking about Sonic.
Okay.
Or getting ready to talk about Sonic.
Right.
But yeah. But
so
welcome,
who all
Oz.
saw?
Wait! Look at that hat.
Where'd you get one of those from? I want one.
Wherever you can find the fine Fantastic Forum merch.
Damn, man. Look, I gotta get in good with these Fantastic Forum guys so they can start hooking me up with some stuff.
Nah.
I gotta talk to whoever it is that created the show.
It should be like the fourth button on FantasticForum.live.
Okay, nice. Go check that out. Check out that merch. I'm like, I like that. What were you saying, Jay?
Who watched it? I was asking who got a chance to watch it.
I did.
I did not. Oz, you watched it?
Yeah, I watched it.
I did.
Okay.
All right, you guys enjoy the conversation, I guess.
You'll have questions, Bo. Trust me. You'll have questions. And I guess we should probably say at
you
this
gotta catch
point
up on Savage Spider-Man.
There'll probably end up being some slight spoilers.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so
I love spoilers.
Just slight spoilers. But Jay, why don't you introduce us to this? Because Jay, like Jay is one of the biggest Sonic fan I know personally. So take it away, buddy.
So this basically takes place months after the last movie. Robotnik is working on a way back to Earth. Sonic is feeling like restless and bored. And when Eggman gets back to Earth, he meets Knuckles and convinces Knuckles that Sonic can lead him to the Master Emerald and get ultimate power. And so they team up. Tails comes in and fights Sonic. They kind of go back and forth. And eventually it's a race for the Master Emerald.
Yeah, that seems like it covers it.
I mean, I skipped over the wedding because that should have been taken out of the movie. And I skipped over the deputy because he should have been taken out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which, let me go into this. One of the things that Sonic, the first movie, did really well was a balance between the people and Sonic. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there could have been less people, but it was a good balance. Like, you had a lot of Sonic, a little people, and it pretty much worked. This had way too many of the people. Like, the whole wedding thing could have been tossed and you would have lost damn near nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And the deputy had a couple of scenes, and it's like, you take him out and you lose literally nothing. And so it's a little disappointing in that regard. But
Mm-hmm.
when it is Sonic, when it is Knuckles, Eggman, even the cop, what's his name? It's really good. Tiger Claw says, "What did I think of the dance scene?" I thought it was a little tone deaf, considering what's going on with Ukraine.
I love that so much, Jay. Jay, I fucking love you.
Wait.
If you saw the scene, like,
Wait, yeah,
I get what he
that's
means.
exactly like.
really?
Wait,
Oh,
that is the funny part. Is that
yeah.
that's a crazy answer, but I think he's right. I think he's right. What a wild thing to say. And it's so funny because I was literally just having a conversation with Mo today
Yeah.
about how Nintendo like delayed Advance Wars because of the Ukraine, like because Russia invaded Ukraine, and they're like, oh well, I guess it's not a great time to release a war game. And I'm like, man, nobody out here is caring about these little cartoon people with their little cartoon tanks. Like, it's like, man,
it's such bullshit because Yemen's been being destroyed for the last 30 years. and Call of Duty's been killing it for 30 years.
right. So I'm just like, man, like this is a weird thing. Like the game was done. They did all the promo and advertising because Nintendo wasn't planning on a Russian invasion. And so, like, literally, like, the week the game was supposed to come out, that happened. And they're like, well, I guess we should wait and postpone it indefinitely. Like, what? Indefinitely?
Like, that makes no sense. It's like, it really makes no sense. Like, it's not even, like, realistic enough to, like, vent. Like,
no.
It's literally cartoon characters with superpowers, like, fighting a war.
Right, but
I mean, I say superpowers, but I mean like special moves.
Right, and oh, go ahead.
And it's like it's so fun and it's so cute, and it's like there's nothing like you wouldn't look at it and be like, oh, they're being insensitive to real life. It's like no reasonable person would think that, and if someone does think that, then we know that they are unreasonable and they should be given the help they need. Like, let's get it out there. Let's identify these people so we can put them someplace.
But the thing that you bring up, I'm like, I would be remiss if I didn't say I had a similar thought. I was sitting there like, I don't know. And I'm not, I don't know that I'm not saying it should have been changed or left out or I'm not saying any of that. But at the same time,
technically it was well done. Like,
I don't know if I'll go that far.
Technically it was well done and it was interesting. And I mean the Russians, not the Sonic and Tails. That was a little broken, but
yeah.
But yeah, like as I'm watching it, I'm like, man, like with how easily it feels like people will go out of their way to do ridiculous shit for ridiculous reasons. But this is like, well, I mean, like I would have been mad if they had taken it out. At the same time, this does seem really like a bad look. Like I might have delayed the movie. Like I wouldn't have taken out the scene, but I might have delayed the movie until the Russia thing is over, and then like do this.
Russia's not over till nukes go off.
Oh, jeez, man!
Hey,
Don't say that.
that's the time when we're gonna want to watch movies.
No, look, not everywhere. Not everywhere.
You thought coronavirus was bad for movies.
Oh man, it's so funny because I remember too, like how, like Jay, you just said like delay it maybe. I remember that's what they did with that Shooter movie, right? The Mark Wahlberg, it was Mark Wahlberg, right? That joint was happening, like I think it was during the DC sniper thing going on, and they were just like, yeah, this might not be a good time to release a sniper movie. And guess what?
It's funny. I got mad then too. Like not at that. So I guess I would be mad either way. But I remember John Q. John Q got delayed because of some kind of hostage some kind of hostage situation that happened before it, like the week it was supposed to come out. And so they delayed it for like a couple months because they didn't think people would be, like after the real life event, people would be willing to side with a hostage taker. And that upset me. So I don't know. I guess they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't.
See, and I guess for me, it's like in my mind, I'm like, I feel like the folks that didn't release Shooter were kind of the mindset where they're like, man, I think if we release it right now, this joint's gonna tank. And I feel like that's a fair like observation to make and a move to make, because you're like, hey, I'm trying to make sure my movie is as profitable as possible, right?
You don't think people would be, well, it's not your decision, Larry, but I would think people would be like, oh, that guy's shooting people. It's just like real life. Let's go watch it.
I think don't get me wrong. There's some people that would do that. I think there are more people that would be like, I don't think we should see that right now. Like, I mean, think about it. Like,
you got to remember when it came out. Like
I think
Wahlberg was a name, but he wasn't like the name he is now.
Yeah.
No, that's not. Wait, that's
I think
not
with
true.
society the way it is, like maybe back then it was different. I'm not that old, but
long ago in the before time, in the early '00s.
I think you can make a movie that mirrors the January 6th incursion on January 7th, and that will sell out.
Well, yeah, but that's a different thing. Like what I'm saying to you is, like, think about it like this. I mean, I'm not saying Washington D.C. is the biggest like movie market, but everybody in Washington D.C. is not going to go see the sniper movie while they're getting shot at.
Nobody cares about D.C.
Well, but that's the whole thing. It's like there are people that do, but it's like what I'm saying is, all the people, like Washington D.C. isn't just the city. It's like there are people in the surrounding cities that work in Washington D.C. and drive in and out. So you got all these people that aren't going to go see the sniper movie because they're like, well, I'm living that right now, and that's not fun for me, So, but I feel like the January 6th thing is a whole different thing, because that's more about like what side of it you're on. And the fact is, it's like there's some people that are going to be like, oh yeah, if you make a movie about that, I'm gonna watch it, but it depends on who makes it. Right? If the right people are making it, you're like, oh yeah, I want to see that version versus that other version, So it's
everybody
crazy.
Would watch it. I think everybody would watch it. Right now, everybody just wants that. Like, I don't think there's a side thing to that one. But yeah, that's not the topic.
Even if there is, the side that didn't make it would want to watch it so they can crap all over it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Check that. That's a clip.
Oh.
What is it? 2942.
They got me. I was
We're gonna get a best of this show.
Oh.
You okay?
I'm all right. Went down the wrong pipe.
Yo, we
Oh,
saw that.
Oz, what did you think of Sonic, man? What was your impressions of the movie?
It was
And the
fine.
dance scene.
It was fine. I wouldn't call it peak cinema like somebody on the internet did. It was.
No.
Oh, really? You didn't know? Lawrence, are you serious?
No, who did?
Our producer.
No. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. That's all right. Keep going.
Now you made me lose my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
It was fine. I agree a lot with Jay. Not completely, but a lot. Like, it starts slow, and he's right. It's the people. Like, it doesn't really feel good until actually Knuckles shows up, because the only person that's interesting in this movie is Dr. Robotnik. And so it starts off kind of slow and then picks up. And then I'm getting annoyed with the whole back and forth between the wedding that they're attending and what's going on with Sonic. Especially because, like, so they go to Hawaii for somebody's wedding. Already I'm annoyed because if you have your wedding in Hawaii, no, I ain't going. Screw you. But I
What's wrong with
understand.
That's you're
I'm
like
going to Hawaii for
that's
what-
Kamehameha's curse. Like, it's cliche.
Oh. Okay.
And the destination part.
But I kind of forgive it a little bit because they have magic rings where you just throw the ring and you're in Hawaii. In a portal. So I get that. Now they didn't know that, but okay, so they have these magic rings, they can do that. But then I'm more annoyed that they do that. They get to Hawaii, and then several hours later, dude's calling like, "Hey, we made it to the hotel."
Yeah, that was
Did
weird.
you not open the portal like right in front of the hotel?
Right.
Like,
Right.
it's a portal that leads you anywhere you want. What are you
Right.
putting the wrong island? So, little things like that annoy me. That were annoying me, and then they kind of paid off a little bit, but like a Saturday Night Live skit, it just goes on too long.
Mhm.
You know, when the I'll call it the two groups get together, it's entertaining. It's cool. It's a nice little scene. But then I don't need the humans anymore to keep
Mhm.
going and going and go. I don't need to know why this lady is gonna tear apart her husband, whatever. Like all that you can cut out. It's
Mhm.
cool. The wedding crash scene, great. After that, now you're just getting boring. Now it's too much. Too much.
Mhm.
Just give me the cute little animals fighting.
Mhm.
Look, at this point, I don't even want to call
That's
Dr.
what's
Robotnik a human because he's a cartoon.
I will say he was too much in this one.
You know,
Like,
he wanted to go further. He wanted like full on fat suit, bigger mustache.
well, I don't like, I wouldn't have minded any of that, honestly. I'm just talking about, like, I feel like there was a level of restraint in the first movie that he had that he, like, totally discards in this one. Like, he's definitely, like, I mean, obviously, it's Jim
I mean,
Carrey.
he's been eating nothing but mushrooms for like 7 months.
No, and don't
Gonna
get me
have an
wrong.
effect.
I don't mind the dude being more insane if he's more insane like Robotnik. But in this, he's more Jim Carrey, doing like
Now,
Jim Carrey.
a real world reason for that is because that's his last role. So he wanted to go out like doing him.
Yeah, and that's what he does. Like that's like it was almost like an 11 Color skit.
His his assistant,
I mean, which is one of those things. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing for like I'm not saying that's not entertaining to me sometimes. I'm saying it's not what's called for this particular role. So it and especially I feel like that was one of the things that set the first movie apart, was like it was Jim Carrey playing this insane guy, and you could definitely see, of course, what Jim Carrey brings to that role. But But he also was working within the parameters of the character that he was supposed to be playing. And I feel like that's not the case in this movie. Like, and sometimes he's still like that character, but other times he's totally just off the reservation. Like, oh, okay, well, we're just doing like, I'm not saying he's like Fire Marshal Bill or anything like that. It's just, it's just random improv stuff that's like, okay, like
I saw a clip that was kind of like that. Like it kind of gave me that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I did at one point, around the time that he becomes a Green Lantern. I was expecting to hear him say, "Let me show you something," because it came close, and his assistant started getting on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
Again, same thing when he's introduced, and up to the point that Robotnik gets back to him is entertaining. Okay, it's cool, it's fun. I get it, but then he shows up again, like doing nothing. Really, he only shows up again to show the other cop that Jay hates.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate too. So like at that point, they're both useless to me.
It's not even like
he actually does have a use. He has a use in that he is going to be the main antagonist for the series going forward.
Really?
Since they can't get Carrie, since he's done, they're going to switch over to him.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
I don't think he could pull off the mustache.
You're so crazy, Oz.
He can't.
So crazy.
Don't get me wrong. Dude has a beautifully sculpted beard, but I can't see him. Like,
I will say, there were times in the comics where Robotnik was gone and Snively was the one in charge, and it works.
I didn't know he was like an actual character. Like he's not in any of the games, though, right?
I can see the disappointment in Jay's face. It's disappointment, but he's come to expect it, so he stayed silent.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Listen,
it's just that look, Larry. Joe's been doing that face at Larry since they were like 3.
It's kind of true, though. It's kind of true. How do you not know about such and such? It's like I don't know where you get your information.
I remember one of the first times I met Jay, he made a comment of the latest Red Hot Chili Peppers album, and Larry was like, "Okay," and he's like, "You didn't listen to it?"
Yeah. Yeah. I have a question. Does anyone know what the deal is with the chicken people? Like in the beginning?
That's a thing from the first game, right? Like, doesn't every time you like? Well, I don't know what the movie is, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's not like animals being released. It's like humanoid people with what looks like chicken heads or maybe chicken helmets.
Oh, those were headdresses. Those were echidnas.
They are?
Wait, the red people that Knuckles was talking about, his people that were fighting the owls?
No, I'm talking about the people that came through the portal before Knuckles.
I think so, but maybe I'm misremembering.
They're not the same type of thing as he is. Like when they showed his people later, everyone looks like him. The things that Robotnik he did all his traps.
Tiger Claw says those are scavengers. They appeared in the prequel comic.
I love how he says prequel.
Wait, Tiger Claw read a comic?
Oh yeah,
he told you that.
Yeah, he talked about
it
that
last week.
We did. Where that's what got Tiger Claw to read comics. Sonic, huh?
Yeah.
No, one of the things that was
like Tiger Claw won't read the Last Ronin, but he'll read Sonic prequel comic.
I think he read the Last Ronin.
Nah. What you say, Jay?
One of the things that was interesting concerning the backstory of this Master Emerald, they do a really noticeable job of not saying either side was right or wrong. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that.
You mean
But
between the Echidna and
the hawk people or
yeah.
owls or whatever.
I did notice that.
Yeah, it's like the echidnas made the master ruby or emerald so that they could defend themselves and they would have the power to take out an army. They don't say they were conquerors. They don't say they were
Mm-hmm.
like trespassing or anything. Just that they can stop an army.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles thought that was too much power. And it's they really go out of their way to like not call either one of those a bad guy, even though obviously if they're not doing anything wrong, then stealing from them is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think that was very noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like not story wise, but just like outside of the fourth wall wise, like that's an interesting way to make sure that we're okay with all these people.
Mm-hmm. So what's
Even-
Cobra Dude talking about?
Cobra Dew says, no, those weren't chickens or echidnas. Those were called scavengers. They teamed up with Knuckles while he was on the hunt for Sonic.
Oh, okay. So look, Cobra Dude read the same comic that Tiger Claw did, apparently. Good job, y'all. We appreciate you all helping us because, you know, every now and then we like to read comics too, but we didn't read that one. Nope.
Tiger Claw says the echidnas were the ones that forged the Master Emerald, but they were abusing its power. They don't say that in the movie. They might
Yeah, they don't.
mention that in the comic,
Mm-hmm.
but in the movie, they just say that they could defeat an army.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And they don't say whether they were using that power for bad or for good. Like
I think they
they
actually
just say
say
they
that
can.
the owls were worried that they would abuse the power, not that they actually
Mm-hmm.
were abusing it.
Right. I don't even know if they even say they're worried. I think they said the owls were like of the mindset that they just shouldn't,
Yeah,
no one should have that kind of power.
No one
Right.
echidna should have that much power.
Right. Which,
Don't.
and you know, it's one of those things like Jay said, it's like, it doesn't say who's right, who's wrong. And realistically, you could be like, I get why both sides of those people or those groups will want like you could see it from either side where you're like, I get why somebody would be like, dude, we need to create something so that we can, like, if we have to fight, we're good. And you could also understand why somebody's like, hey man, they have this weapon over here where they can beat whoever they want. That makes us feel uneasy. And it's like, yeah, I get that too.
Power corrupts. It's universal.
There it
And
is.
they know that. It doesn't matter how good of people they were. Somebody's going to get control of this item and be corrupted by the power and abuse it. It's, it happens. It's a universal thing, I think. I don't know aliens personally, but I feel like they would agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool.
Is there anything else about Sonic?
I mean, I will
that we
say
haven't touched on or that we should touch on?
I mean, the climax was cool.
After the
Like,
credits,
I did like the robot.
That felt very classic.
Yeah, like it was missing some of the moves, but
True.
It was a classic design.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but how all that resolves. I mean, if you're a fan of Sonic, it's hard to like knock how that all resolves itself. It's like it's one of those things where like I was sitting there like, man, like I would love to have seen what your reaction was like then and there, Jay.
Oh,
because I know you were probably like glowing in that moment.
yeah, like it was awesome. Like that was awesome. I like that some of the drones were B-shaped this time, which is awesome. Yeah, like visually, the movie is on point.
And I will say another thing was I loved, like I know Tiger Claw earlier was talking about the end credits scene or whatnot, but the end credits themselves were super cool. Like basically like a video game representation of the events of the movie.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's always a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think. I mean, it is one of these things where I mean, well, and I don't know that I've actually said this yet, but I'll piggyback on both what Oz and you said, Jay, which was, you know, you're right. Like the people, there was too much people, and you're right. Like all the things that you said, we should just toss out the movie. I agree with, even though it's like the actors are great actors, but they just
They're
are
just not needed for this movie.
right. They're unnecessary. Right. Home chick that was the sister, which you know I like. I'm a fan of hers. Um, you know, she's like awesome and like Insecure, and she's great there. But she was great in the first movie. But you know, I don't know what made people or someone decide to give that much more time, and then you have like Shamar Moore. You know,
Yeah, I don't even
should
know why he was there. Like why?
yeah.
Like I mean, I hate to say it, but this was beneath him.
I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, you know, it's like you know, in a like if there's a version of the movie where that character probably fits into things. It just wasn't this version, you know. Like Shamar Moore could have easily been that general, you know, like could have done that, and that would I wouldn't have looked batted in the eye and be like, oh, what's he doing here, you know. But you know, it's a wild thing. It's a wild thing, and I should also mention Home Chick's name is Natasha. Natasha Rothwell is her name. That's the sister. But realistically, it's like, you know, you got
Is she in anything good? I mean, aside from Insecure.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was about to say, I'm like, you heard me say Insecure. You're like, don't
Yeah,
do that,
but
Jay.
I haven't seen that, so
I agree. You're right. Too many black people. Too many black people.
well, I wouldn't say too many black people.
I would just play, Jay. Don't worry. You got to justify nothing for me, man. That's what I know her from. I
She was in that
honestly.
movie where the chick got turned into a little girl, right?
What's her name again?
Her name is Natasha Rothwell. Are you talking about Lady Boss? Is that what you're talking? The one with
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish?
I don't know. If she's
Oh wait, no, that's not. No, Tiffany Haddish not in that movie, is she? I don't know.
they all look the same to you, Larry.
They really don't. You know, I know she had like a part in. She had like a bit part in Wonder Woman too, but like Wonder Woman. I mean, well, I meant Wonder Woman as well, but it is actually like the 1984 Wonder Woman. I'm not sure, like what else. I'm trying to think of
So
if
she's
there's
in
anything
Cupid
else
and
that.
Birdie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's in Archer.
I know she's in like. I know she's in Black Lady Sketch Show too, which is pretty like Black Lady Sketch Show is really funny, but.
So you watch that, but
Oh my
not that
god,
damn.
she was in DuckTales. Oh, dude, she's
Oh, there you
awesome.
go.
I love her.
Too late, Jay. Too late. You should have loved her a long time
Was
ago.
she in that movie with Camille Nanjiani?
Which one? Eternals?
No,
No, the one where they're like, it's a romantic comedy where like somebody gets killed.
yeah, she wasn't. I don't think she was in that one.
Actually, I don't even know who you're talking about. I'm just throwing out shit.
Yeah,
That's the
that
one.
wasn't
Wait.
her.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, I don't even think you're talking about a black person, but I'm talking about a black person.
Wait, she is a black person.
Yeah, she's black.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
told you
all
she
right.
was Elson.
She was who?
Elson
Who's else?
Who is that? Who's
from
that? Jace?
DuckTales.
I didn't watch. DuckTales don't have black people. They're all animals.
Yeah, but she sounds black.
I don't know anything about that. Last time I said
Really?
that, I got in trouble.
You can't sound black, Jay.
Yeah, you
just
can.
sound.
Jay knows you
just sound.
can.
You don't sound black. Look, black people sound all different types of ways. Look,
No,
listen to me right now. Listen to me right now. I sound black.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, why are you laughing, Oz? How dare you? I'm black. This is what black people sound like.
It's true.
Jay, does Larry sound black to you?
Yeah, he sounds like the other. Yeah, you know how.
Like that's the thing. When people tell Larry, Larry talks white, like I'm like, these motherfuckers are idiots because Larry has a black tone. It's a tone. It's a frequency. It's
what
not
does that mean? It means nothing.
It means something. It's just people don't want to talk about it.
A black tone. It's like, listen, I get called Asian all the time on the phone.
Those people are racist, not
got it.
smart.
That's fair. That's fair. It's like, look, I got a call.
Hold on. Those people that talk to you on the phone has never worried about their levels of their mic when they're on their headset in doing these phone calls. I have. You sound black, Larry.
See? You see how the racism comes out?
It's an audio engineer thing. It's not
polarity. I don't know who that is. Well, I guess I do because the name's right there.
Yeah.
No, I understood that, Jay. I was just like, I don't know that character, but technically it does say Zan right there, right? Zan Alson. So I'm assuming that that's Zan Alson.
Yeah.
Does she sell?
Yeah, she's great as her.
Is that a recurring character?
Yes. She starts off working for Glomgold, then becomes the mayor of St. Canard.
Damn, Jay. Spoilers.
Look, this shit ended
for the show that ended 2 years ago.
2 years.
I did know that. That much I knew. Spoilers, Jay. Dang, man. Let a brother know you about to go ahead and try to go ahead and let us know that no, you can't have it.
It's safe to say the sequel didn't live up to the greatness of the first one, right?
Here's
what I was good, but
right.
I think that's because of the people, like mainly because of the people.
Yeah, but we're judging the whole movie. Like we can't
What I will say to you is this: I know for me, I was like, "What's the difference?" And I know this. There's a third writer on this movie. Like,
what was his last name?
I'd have to look it up, but there's a third writer, and I was like,
was it black?
You see, wait a minute. What are you doing right now, man? What are you doing? Like, I don't know. All I know is there were the two people from the first movie that came up with the story and wrote it. And then in the second movie, there were two people that were like story and screenwriter credits. And then there was a third person that got a screenwriter credit.
They probably needed to touch it up because there was too many animals in it.
Pat Casey, Josh Miller, and John Whittington.
The Whittington is the third one.
I don't. Yeah, that guy ruined it.
So he did the Lego movie. He did the Lego Batman movie, and the Lego Ninjago movie.
See, he put that Ninjago on it. No, I've never seen a Ninjago movie, so I don't know how good they are.
Nobody has.
And this is what happens when that guy tries to write scenes for black people.
Oh, and he's writing on DC League of Super Pets.
There you go. Look, we knew that was going to be trash.
But see, that has like five. No. That has like 5 different writers. That's not like that's one of those like Pixar things where one of them's like Warren Ellis and the rest are like because that's what happened with Toy Story. It was like Joss Whedon, like Joel Cohen, like but all their individual movies are great.
So it says here during reshoots, he rewrote the screenplay for the 2020 Doolittle film. So that was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During reshoots of Doolittle or during reshoots of Sonic?
Doolittle.
Oh, okay.
Again.
So yeah, man. So I mean, look,
So, yeah, I guess it's him.
I know. Look, I know for myself, I was sitting here just like I was like, what's the difference? And because you all know me, like I was just like you know how I felt about the first one. So I was just like, what's the difference between this and the last one? And that's what I came up with because I feel like everything else is pretty much the same because it's the same director too, right?
I believe so.
I think it's the same director. It's like, and then, the additions to the cast are solid additions, you know what I'm saying? It's like I know we talked about people, but like James Marsden and Tika Sumpter don't take up that much more space. Like they have some scenes where it's like, okay, we don't really need them to say anything, but they do anyway because they're like, well, somebody's like, we're paying them, so we should have them do something, right?
They're not paying that much. I mean, it's Marsden and whatever you said.
See, why would you be this dismissive?
Like the other guy, the husband, what Tupac Shakur, he probably gets paid more money than Marsden, right?
Wait, so Tika Sumpter is the wife?
No, who's the?
I'm not talking about the other security guard dude.
No. The good actor, the groom, the guy from
Shamar Moore.
Yeah, that's what I said. Shamar Moore. He probably makes more than Marsden.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
He had less lines.
I would be shocked to find out that would be the case, but I don't know.
Those less lines that he did more acting than Marsden.
No, and I'm not disagreeing with you. Like, I mean, Shamar Moore is underrated, but what I'm saying, who I was talking about is James Marsden's wife. Her name is Tika Sumpter, and like they're paying them both to come back to the role, which traditionally you get paid more money because it's like the film was a success, right? So you're like, you want everybody to reprise a role, and they're like, well, we did a good job, it made money, so pay us more. And ideally, I'm sure they all got paid more than they did for the last one, even if it was just a little bit more, or they got some sort of deal where they get more on the back end or whatever. But either way, it's just like they did fine. And there might be a few lines where I'm like, okay, like they say stuff and I'm like, they didn't need to say anything right there, but I get it. But they weren't really the problem. It was like the other people, like all these other superfluous folks where it's like, why are these people even talking right now? Because they're not saying anything that adds to the story. They're just talking.
So is it one of those things where you can just edit those scenes out and the movie will be better?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get a
100%.
copy and just edit that out.
I'll set it. I was like,
no, I mean,
just show me the animals. Let me just show me the cute animals fighting.
And that's kind of my thing too. Even with that was my criticism of the first one, where I was like, why do we even need James Marsden? Like, why do we need Sonic coming to Earth? Like, we have so much cool shit, but it just turned out to be a good movie.
Right. And you need that for an American audience.
Fuck American audiences. Like,
it turns out we spend a lot of money on movies. Like but there's a reason why this like we literally put it as like domestic and international. It's like, and when you look at those movies, it's not like it's seldom that the international is like just grossly out.
Like, Larry, come on, you don't have to be right. Like, but it's just like honestly, like from a Sonic fan perspective, like you could make a good movie with no people in it. Like it could still be a great fucking movie.
It could have been all animated, and I would have probably liked it more.
They could call it live action and have it be CGI, just like The Lion King.
Hilarity. I don't think that would have worked, but maybe. Like, it's funny though, because you're right. Like, I feel like The Lion King can get away with that because they're like, well, no, that's real life animals. But they're like, people are like, and a Echidna, that's not real, even though it is.
Yeah, but
Echidna, that's like some old mythical stuff, like a Hydra, right? Like a Echidna.
That's Chimera's cousin,
right? It's like, no, man, that's a real animal.
So Tiger Claw says Sonic 2 is a better movie than the first one because it's more a Sonic movie than the first.
See, you know what? It's an interesting thing that Tiger Claw says there because I don't think Tiger Claw's wrong in the statement he's making in regards to it being more Sonic-like, but I think he's wrong in it being a better movie. So it's like
It might
it's
be
like
an editing thing that could be fixed.
I mean,
So-
definitely.
Do we talk about the post-credit scene?
Yes.
I mean, I
wanna
don't
see
know.
it.
Like
It's
ask
a
Joe.
photo.
Let Joe make the call on that
Why can't you ask me?
Let's do it.
because you don't know what it is.
Because
But I want to know what it is.
I have problems with the setup that let it like I like the idea. I like where it's going. I think it's gonna make the third one good. But there's something about the setup that bugged me. Where they mentioned that they discovered this 50-year-old project. How long has Sonic been in that world? Like when he showed up, like nobody knew anything about any other creature out there.
Mhm.
Suddenly, there's this 50-year-old project that they're working on that even like their top scientist Robotnik had no idea.
Well, I will say this. While I can feel what you're saying in regards to Robotnik, it's like Robotnik very well could be somebody that, like, I mean, you know how things go with the government. They do need to know. Robotnik is the only character in the first movie, and frankly, maybe the second, that you would be like, why doesn't that character know? And it just might be, hey, the dude's a little unstable.
Just because I can see the look on Mo's face as we talk cryptically. The
Spoilers, just so you know.
The general finds out that there's a Winter Soldier program. And tell me that's not accurate, Lawrence.
Right?
Tell me that's not accurate.
No, that's accurate. That's it.
So yeah, part 3 is gonna have the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. I mean, that's the
It's 50 years old too, so it fits.
But it's one of these things where, like, especially when you're talking about from the first movie, it's like there's no reason anybody that was in that first movie would have any idea that was a thing.
Like, yeah, because even Marvel does it where it's like they could just insert old Shield shit and have it be canon after the fact. Yeah, like with Ant-Man and Peggy Carter, and even Endgame.
Hey, you're talking about original Ant-Man. You're talking about like Hank Pym Ant-Man.
Right. Well, the Ant-Man movie, like he was a Shield guy, and then he played into the second one too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, no, I agree. And it's like, I mean, it could work. I mean, but I will say that, like, I know personally, I came out the first movie like, man, I'm excited, and I'm like, I want to see a sequel, and I'm ready. Like, if they want to release it tomorrow, we'll go tomorrow. That's not how I felt about this one today. It's like,
And that's why I keep telling you to watch Detective Pikachu.
You do keep telling me to do
Detective Pikachu?
No, I haven't. I'm sorry. Listen,
why do you hate Justice? You hated Blue Justice. You
Yellow
hate
Justice.
Detective. Well, I was gonna say Black Justice because that's his name. Isn't that his name? Yeah, the actor.
Yeah,
his first name, but his last name's Justice, right?
Right.
So you just hate Justice in any color.
The actor's last name in Detective Pikachu, his last name is Justice?
Yeah.
Oh, that must be a stage name, right?
Look, would that make you feel better? would that get you to go see it?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. I need to know that this was a perpetrator.
Smith.
Huh?
Justice Smith.
Oh, his first name is Justice. Oh, okay, no, that's different.
Yeah,
that I believe.
His name is Justice Smith.
What's his middle name?
Yellow.
Doesn't say. Says he was born on August 9th.
Wrong answer. You're supposed to say
he was in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Or Vengeance. Justice.
Oh, it's Elio. Justice Elio Smith.
So, real quick, fellas, look, I'm gonna dip out for a hot second. I'll be right back, but let me just rate this real quick. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5.
All this talk of justice makes him feel the need to wash
Yeah.
up.
That's what it is. I'm like, justice. So look,
I shit on justice.
right. That's like the concept of justice is for the peons, not for those such as myself. It's like, right, I buy my own justice. No, it's not true. Not true. I'm broke.
Well, Larry, what was it? 5 out of 5? What was it?
3.5.
3.5. All right.
Yes.
Oz, what do you rate it?
I'm gonna go with 4 with a little asterisk, because if you stream it or rent it, buy it, whatever the kids do these days, you can skip over the people parts and go right into the good stuff.
Jay, what do you rate it?
I'm gonna go 3.5. Like, I wasn't into the people parts, but everything else was really good.
Cool. I rate your review of it, guys, and Larry. It is a good 4.5 out of 5. Like, I feel like I get a sense that as much as I enjoyed the other one, the first one, had I gone seen it, I probably would have been a little disappointed. And yeah,
It must be good. We've been talking about it for an hour.
yeah, but we also were trying to figure out where that lady was from.
What lady?
The lady that Jay and Larry were talking about.
Elson.
Yeah, Elson.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Okay. Well, what are we talking about now?
You guys want to go into
talking about Strange?
Yeah, you want to go into Strange, or you want to wait for Larry?
No, let's start.
Okay. Let me play the comic book review music.
Woo! Comic book
review.
Comic book
Like review.
Well, not like that, but like.
So yeah, Strange is a new comic out. It's a different Sorcerer Supreme. It's a female, and it's coming out right in time for the movie. And it's I think issue 2 came out last week. Basically the story is Doctor Strange is dead. They brought him back to fight this conflict with a weird spell, but it didn't take. He had to return to the land of the dead or whatever, the realm of the dead. But in the meantime, he left Clea, his wife, and I believe she's Dormammu's daughter, as the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. So she has those otherworldly powers, and on top of that, she's the Sorcerer Supreme. And you would think it's like a new adventure book with a new character, but really all they want is to bring Stephen Strange back. And even in the comics, they're like, well, everybody that he has ever fought alongside with has been dead and come back. Like, why can't we bring him? And in issue 1, they start trying to figure out. They go to a, was it the Goblin Market or whatever, the bazaar? You've seen something similar in Hellboy 2. I'm sure the Harry Potter series has something like that.
Hogsmeade.
Yeah.
No, Diagon Alley. Sorry.
Yeah.
Geez, Diagon Alley. Don't come at me.
Yeah. So they go there, and then a full-on like incursion of weird warlordy people that want to take control of that supernatural market comes along, and Clea just goes nuts and claims that as her own. Then in issue 2, she fights the Harvestman, and the Harvestman is a emissary of death. And I think this is his first appearance. which means I got to go and buy it because I think this is a way that Disney can use death in a movie that wouldn't be too morbid for Disney Plus subscribers. So I think he might be coming up in something in the next few years. Aside from that, the issues like they're I enjoy them a lot. I didn't think a replacement. They did it with Brother Voodoo as a Sorcerer Supreme in the past, and Hellstorm or Hellstrom, and I kind of like when it's different Sorcerer Supremes here and there. And this one I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Clea, and I think it helps that the story is that they're just trying to figure out to bring him back. Like she's not dead set on staying the Sorceress Supreme of Earth. What do you think, Jay?
I thought it was not great exactly. Like a little, I don't know, boring is not the right word. But I don't know, there was something about it. Like I enjoyed their conversation with Doom. It was super like that's a good way to hide exposition. Yeah, that was good. But then the art keeps making her face different, and it's weird. She reminds me of Aes Sedai, like because they're ageless, and like in some panels she'll look like she's 20, and in others she'll look like she's 60, and it just keeps going like that throughout the whole book.
I don't know who that is you're talking about.
Cool.
Aes Sedai?
The Aes Sedai, basically they don't age. They look ageless. Yeah, that's not super important.
Okay.
But what is super important is I don't like this art. Like
All of it?
and at some points,
panel?
no, at some points it tries to be good. But others it does this. Like it's and the other one is worse. Like I had another panel, yeah. Like the fuck. Like I don't know, that just hits me all the wrong. And the book is kind of like that with the art. And some panels that should be cool aren't really as cool. And yeah, I'm not digging this art. And sometimes it does look okay, but it's not nearly often enough. And it's specifically Clea. Like Wong looks good, Doom looks good, those Marauders look good. What's his name? The Reaper guy? Like he looks bad, but that's just design choice. Like aesthetically,
Before you go
he
on with
looks
that,
bad.
I'm gonna have to cut you off. I hate cutting you off, but I love his design. It's a marketable design for Death. I just hate how they showcased them because it felt like, and I wish I had a picture. I was actually getting pictures to show here of him because I would like to see him in full glory. Like if he's the main antagonist of that issue, like I want to see a splash page with him. As comics tend to do when they introduce a character, and this didn't really have it, and it felt like it was just almost like the issues you had with the art with her face, and compared to the way they'd handled the Harvestmen, to me felt like they were on a time crunch. So they're like, oh, we just got to draw it. So don't close, don't zoom in on him. Just have him in there, And same with the face. Like the faces were something that like had they been, we criticize artists that trace. Had this artist traced their own work, those faces would have been fine panel to panel in a time crunch. And that's how I feel about the art. And I had to speak up about the Harvestman because I think the design is good. especially if like this is like Disney's way of bringing you a death type character, Reaper, that isn't too morbid or scary for kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It
Usually
just
I'm mad about
doesn't
that.
work for me.
Yeah.
Like
No,
it doesn't work for me, but it's like his face looks the same each time.
yeah.
The
Yeah. Because
mask, and that
yeah.
doesn't happen with Clea.
Yeah.
In fact,
But
there's one page where Clea, she's in like her robe or whatever, and she magics up an outfit, and she looks like two different people from panel to panel,
that's issue
and
2, right?
it's like,
Issue 2? Where she
I think
does it?
it's one, like right before they go to the market,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, and like the story in issue 1 didn't grab me, and for the most part 2 didn't, but for some reason the hook at the end of 2 actually did get me.
And that was that page I shared too. Let me see if I can share it again.
Yeah. So what is basically happening, because she is a warlord, and in the dark dimension that's a title, and they don't have them on Earth, so she is like shocked to shit that these I forgot what they're called, but their anti-magic terrorist group, or they're not anti-magic, but they don't like magical beings. This terrorist group doesn't respect her claim to the market. She decides that they have to go. Like they can't exist anymore, and that got me a little bit excited. So,
and that's kind of where I feel like these 2 issues could have been one. Like they used, she even kind of commented on it, where it's like, it's just another dude in the metal mask, you know. But it's a new character essentially, and a new adversary that she's gonna have to deal with. But it's like she dealt with Doom in the first one and this one, and it was just ways to hide exposition. Yeah, but
also,
I'm okay with that.
Real quick, at some point they do mention that Death might be having problems, which is why she has a herald out, like taking care of business. That I want to see. Like,
yeah,
I'm hoping it's in its own book and not Strange, just so I have the choice to like walk away. But if it is in Strange, then I probably will read for that. Like, I do want to know what's going on with Death. That she has this guy hunting down revenants that are escaping her realm.
Larry tried to laugh, but he's on mute. So
sorry, I did laugh.
I was
y'all definitely didn't hear it. I apologize.
Yeah. Sorry, I was distracted. Jay, what did you say? I was trying to get Larry to make sound. But you want the whole why Death is having trouble right now.
Yeah.
All that. Okay. Yeah, I mean I get it. It may or may not be in Strange, but I do like this book. Is not perfect, but I like the vibe of it. And the art has some issues, but then it does some really cool shit too. You know, like it's I think it's a time crunch thing, and like just whenever she powers up, she does something Doctor Strange never does, where it's like, oh, I'm hanging out in a robe and then power up and turn into the Sorcerer Supreme. She does that, and it just looks good every time to me. And
you want Doctor Strange to hang out in a robe?
I mean, he did it in the movie, and then he didn't switch. Like when he switched, it was like, in No Way Home, he was hanging out in a hoodie, and then he went and became Doctor Strange. There was nothing cool to look at in between.
Wait, when you say that she powers up, you mean like when she becomes like that energy kind of form or whatever?
Well, she did it a couple different times. Like she she goes and hangs out in her bathrobe when she's talking to Wong, and then they see the spell, and she, I gotta check this out, and then she just changes into the thing, and that's kind of a power up thing. And then at the end of issue 2, she goes a different form. It's almost like she did like 3 forms of Super Saiyan in 2 issues. Like,
yeah. I feel you, and you know what? I agree with you. I think it is super cool. I think it has more to do with like Clea's like background in regards to like her being
daughter.
She's actually Dormammu's niece.
That's what it is.
Yeah, she's Dormammu's niece.
Where were you when I was doing the recap of this book?
I'm sorry, I had to dip out for a hot second. But yeah, she's Dormammu's niece. But you know, like her like race of beings are like energy beings, even though they kind of have like a human kind of form, like they're energy beings. And then on top of that, you know, Clea is the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension. And that's something that actually comes up in issue 2, like you were talking about, where it's like, she's like, when you're the Sorcerer Supreme of one dimension or one magical realm, it's not like when you become the Sorcerer Supreme of another magical realm, like those powers don't stack. It's not like you become, this super uber magical person. She's like, these magics are in conflict.
Right.
And
that's a whole other part of this book that we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? It's not cool that she changes forms? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm not saying it's not cool. What I'm saying is because she's the Sorcerer Supreme of a different realm, I feel like that's part of why she changes forms, because it's like she's tapping into other stuff that Doctor Strange doesn't have access to.
That adds a whole like dollop of guacamole on this taco. Like, tacos are delicious. You put guacamole in it, fuck, you know, like, or cheese, you know, like that's what this does. That, you know, this could be a regular Doctor Strange story, but with this Clea at it, it just makes it that much cooler, you know.
Yeah.
Her attitude of dealing with these terrorists is tight, and you know, Jay said he found it not boring, but you know, he found it, you know,
not that compelling either.
Yeah, for me, it was like, man, like the fact that it is Clea and the dialogue, the inner monologue, the writing of this book. I come to this book for story. I didn't look at the art, and it paid off in dividends for me. You know,
the story's fantastic. The art isn't as good as it could be. I agree with you 100%. Or I agree with Jay in that regard. Like it could, like honestly, like this book could have a better artist, and you know, it's not like it's terrible. Like I don't want to say that at all. Like I feel like the art is more than serviceable. It's just, but Jay's criticism is 100% true, in the sense that she looks different from panel to panel, and that's not something ideally that you want. Like I hate when that happens with especially with characters. I mean, it doesn't matter honestly whether they're characters I care about or not. It's just one of those things where I would prefer consistency, but at the same time too, what I will say is this: I've met people in real life that look different from different angles too. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I would be lying to you if I would say, oh, I don't know the person, where like they take photos from a particular angle for a reason. Because they look fly as hell from one angle, and from a different angle they're cute. You know, and so that kind of, like, you know, that could be what's happening here, but at the same time it's like you're an artist. Like if you want to make that character look consistent from every angle, you can do that.
I really think it was rushed, but
and that could be so too.
Yeah, but Oz, comment on this book if you read it.
I read the first one.
Okay,
that's fine.
I think it's the second one. So the title of Sorcerer Supreme comes with power, or do you get the title because of your power?
No,
I thought you got it for being the more powerful sorcerer, but that whole interaction with Doom. Well, I guess Cleo is probably more powerful than him, right?
Yeah.
It's both. It is both, and
Yeah.
and it's a good question, Oz. Like because
Movies have tarnished your view of magic.
you said movies.
Yeah, Doctor Strange movies.
But it's interesting though, because I will say this: like, I give credit to the Doctor Strange movies because it would have been
Movies so
easy,
far.
huh?
Movie so far.
Right. Well, but I guess what I'm saying, you're right. Like, it's only one Doctor Strange movie, but even in No Way
in the
Home,
current continuity.
right? In No Way Home, Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme, and that makes sense because Doctor Strange is new.
Yeah.
There's no good reason for Doctor Strange to be the Sorcerer Supreme when Wong has been there the entire time and probably knows just as much, if not more, magic than Doctor Strange. It's like it doesn't, like, if you're a Doctor Strange fan, which I mean, there's only so many of those. But let's say, right. But if you're a Doctor Strange fan, you understand why Wong wouldn't be Sorcerer Supreme from the comic books, because Wong, like, in an outdated thing now, was like the manservant, and Wong is great in his own regard, but literally, like, the station that Wong had when Doctor Strange was created in the 60s is something that doesn't hold up anymore. And so in the in the continuity in the MCU, where Wong isn't a manservant, he's a magician in his own right, it makes sense for Wong to be the Sorcerer Supreme and Doctor Strange to, like, they kind of play it off like, oh, well, if I was here, I would be the Sorcerer Supreme. But
I mean, he was a Sorcerer Supreme.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the first movie, he was Sorcerer. He became Sorcerer Supreme.
Definitely.
That's why he got the Time Stone.
Yeah, but
definitely by Infinity War, he was Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh, okay, and that's fine, but either way, it's like, that doesn't make sense.
Weird. It's so weird because even the filmmakers were like, oh, shit's going down. Bloop, Wong's out.
Right, but I like the way it works though, because Wong is more like, kind of like, I'm in charge, but listen, I'm gonna turn a blind eye here.
Yeah.
Like, Wong plays it like, I could shut all this down if I really wanted to, but listen,
Look,
I didn't see it.
Look, if you want to save the world, you don't shut nothing. You don't turn a blind eye to nothing.
But it makes sense because the thing that is happening in that movie, he's like, listen, you're gonna cast this crazy spell, just control it, Steven. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, keep it in the realm. And at the end of the day, that's what Doctor Strange was trying to do the entire movie in No Way Home.
Infinity War.
In Infinity War?
In Infinity War, like, shit's going down and Wong just disappears.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so if he's Sorcerer Supreme by Infinity War, you could save the planet, you can save half of these people from dying. Like, where the fuck are you?
Back to the comic.
We can go back to the comic. You're right. But no, I hear what you're saying, Mo, and you're right there. But what I will say, going back to the comic, now, what I like about this book is, and there are two things that I'm like, wow, like, this is kind of bold here, because we know Doctor Strange movie is coming out.
Yeah.
Next month. Well, is it? Yeah, it's next month.
Dude, it's like 3 weeks away.
Right.
I forgot to tell you, Larry, about all the tickets already.
Got it. Doctor Strange is not going to be the Sorcerer Supreme in the comics by the time this movie comes out.
Yeah.
Like the next issue, I'm pretty sure doesn't come out, like, even before this movie comes out, because this joint came out last week. I'm pretty sure, like, maybe it might. Maybe the next issue maybe comes out the same week that the movie comes out. Maybe. But you're not going to have, like, Stephen Strange as the Sorcerer Supreme at the end of that book. I don't think. Now, I could be wrong, but I would be shocked. Based on how the story's going, it's like, so that means that either they're telling like a story with Clea as the Sorcerer Supreme for at least the next few months, because we all know Doctor Strange is going to come back eventually. But either they're going to tell a story with Clea for the next few months as Sorcerer Supreme, and then Doctor Strange comes back, or, I mean, which is, I guess, a crazier kind of thing, but I guess maybe Clea could end up as the Sorcerer Supreme at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Now, what? When did you say the movie comes out?
May
In like,
5th,
in like a month,
less than a month.
Okay.
but it's like 3 weeks.
Strange number 3 comes out June 1st.
It says May
Strange number
2 for
4
me. But yeah.
comes out on the 22nd of June. And it is
Wait,
a
so-
404. So this is ending at number 4. So June 22nd will be the last issue.
Okay, and at the end of that issue, maybe we do get Doctor Strange back, but that's still the end of June, as opposed to like the beginning of May is when the movie comes out. And so that's literally like 2 months where you don't have Doctor Strange as the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, it's like, I know that, we all like to talk about how synergy between.
Yeah, we had this
Between
issue
movies and
with all new, all different Marvel. Like none of the movies that came out that year like matched what the comics were. And it sort of reflected in sales. Part of it was people that were anti-woke and stuff too. But it that's one of those missteps in terms of making money and not
But is it a misstep? I mean, because like I don't feel like this is a bad
They
comic.
want to make money on both sides.
Like, but and here's the thing, like I guess, and this is just about, I guess, a difference in mentality, and obviously, like my thought process on this is a whole different thing. Being someone who's like I'm not gonna not buy the comics because the movies and the comics don't match. Like that's not.
No, but they don't care about you. They care about new readers.
Right. But that is, and like that, I guess, is the whole point I'm making, where I'm like, it's interesting that they would be like, it's okay if the comic and the movie doesn't match exactly when the movie comes out. Because it's like, in their mind, I guess, they're saying, like, hey, if somebody picks up Strange at this point, if you read issue 1, you realize, which you mentioned earlier, Mo, the whole concept of the thing is, we're trying to get Doctor Strange back. But at the same time, which is clear, it's clear. At the same time, they're still introducing you to this other character, Clea.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not like you're sitting here reading this like, where, like, am I going to see Doctor Strange? Like, you understand that the person who's is the head of the book right now is trying to get Doctor Strange back the same way how you want to see Doctor Strange.
Right.
But they're still introducing you to this character.
Yeah.
And which is a character that is probably in Multiverse of Madness as well.
I'm willing to bet my life on it.
Right. So it's like, it's not like it's someone that you're wholly unfamiliar with. And in my mind, I'm like, that's a very interesting way of having, like, being able to tell stories dynamically that are like, you don't have to feel as a comic book reader. You don't have to feel like, oh, they're making my comics do what the movies do. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, we all know Doctor Strange is coming back. And so it's like, by the time the movie's been out a month, you can buy a comic book with Doctor Strange in it.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying this Strange. I think you misread what I was saying. This female Strange that doesn't match is not the misstep. The misstep was back then. Like
with the Marvel, all different. Yeah.
At the time where they had these movies coming out, might have been a misstep. I'm not even saying it is.
No, I hear that.
This one I think is actually very clever.
And that's what I'm saying.
You just said. I'm not going to rehash what you just said because you just spent 20 minutes on it. Where when Oz still hasn't got to review the book. But what I will say, it's like if it does play out, it's genius because it feeds me, the fan, and it's an interesting way of getting the new guy in there, which is like, for me, it works. It on my end, it works.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of this first issue, man, that you read? I'm sorry. I apologize for Larry.
It's not my fault.
I'm used to it.
You asked him. I didn't cut into
I
that
asked
part.
him. You cut into that.
Okay.
I
If I did, I'm sorry. I apologize, Oz. Go for
I
it.
didn't know what came with the title. If she got whatever.
Yeah.
Jay talked about the I guess Mo, like Jay and Mo like butted heads on the art.
A little
I
bit.
actually like the art, especially like even at the beginning when they first showed Doom,
Mhm.
and like I got to that panel, I was like, oh, but he's just like knocking on the door.
Yeah.
And it's like whoa, yeah, that still gave me a little shiver. Like, damn. So yeah, any art that can do that is good, I think.
That's how I always say it's a time crunch. Like they put energy in certain pages, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit wordy, but they have a lot to tell you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they did this for someone who hasn't read Strange books in a while. Like, I haven't read Strange books in a while, and I feel like they caught me up pretty good. They didn't have to tell me what Mo said, that Strange died. They brought him back to life for something, and then he died again, because in one line, Clea tells me that when she talks about how she was widowed twice in like a week or whatever she says.
And for an issue number 1, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I expected that. Like I said, a lot of text, which usually bugs me, but it wasn't the wall of text that
Right.
I complained about. It moved, it paced pretty well. I could use a little bit less of Wong crying over Strange, but I mean they've known each other forever at that point.
Yeah,
right?
man. F that guy. You're right.
They're like best buddies.
Yeah, they are.
So I can also, like, all right, I get it. He's got to deal with it. You know, I didn't want the scene in the alley because I thought like that was just gonna take up space, and then they do the terrorist incursion or whatever that was. So that added a little bit of spice to it. So yeah,
that's called the Shrouded Bazaar, by the way.
Whatever.
I know you all were looking for the name and couldn't find it. It was Shrouded Bazaar.
Okay, the bizarre shroud that Miss Cleo goes to.
Clea.
Yeah, so Miss Cleo goes to the
Clea
bazaar, and you know, I thought that was just gonna be like whatever, stuff happens. So that every time I think that it's gonna go in a way that I'm not gonna like it, do something that brings me right back and keeps me reading the book.
Oz, now you've seen this Goblin Market, Shrouded Bazaar, whatever they call it in Harry Potter. It always goes the same, right? Like something just burst in, and some shit just started whenever they go to that market. Like it is like the fucking Santa Fe Spring swap meet for us Hispanics, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's very funny. It's a good reference.
At some point, that alley's gonna get attacked.
Yeah.
Like in Harry Potter, not in the first movie because he's still a kid and he's just shopping. But there's gonna be a battle in that scene at some point. Yeah, and that shows up all the time.
Yeah, but this is one of the things that stuck out to me a lot. This is where Marvel kind of shines, where they probably couldn't do it in movies as much. Maybe MCU could now, but they would choose not to. And in a lot of the fantasy movies or even underworld movies, like I guess they would work there too. But just these weird tactical mercenary dudes that also have wards and magic augmentation, like Marvel comics and even DC comics will do it too. And I guess it's comics period, like as a genre, that's what makes it so good, where that could just happen and you don't question it when the story is just good. Like it just flows into the story. And this is one of those moments where it's like, the only reason I questioned it was because I am reading this book to critique it. And I'm like, man, this is where, if this was in any other medium, I'd probably like be thrown out by it. or turned off by. Here
Mhm.
it just worked. Even like that, the Solomon grenade, like
Yeah,
that
that stuff
was
seems super cool to me.
oh, like why can't we have that in like a Fortnite or some shit? Like I want a Solomon grenade, and then just her, and it was really just to showcase Clea's power, where
Hmm
she's like, we've been binding demons to souls since you were like a twinkle in your daddy's nutsack. Yeah, like
It's so good.
you just I'm gonna use you later. Yeah,
Hmm
it was
Like,
fucking tight.
just the idea, like, because it like that, like I feel like that was one of the things story wise that like was very notable because it shows you how a moment can do a lot of different things. Because, like you said, you have like the you introduce this new threat, in regards to like these dudes. I can't remember what they're called, but whatever. But you got this like basically tactical, like half tactical, half magical kind of mercenary group, right? And then you introduce them, then you also get the opportunity to show what kind of person Clea is and how she's a different type of Sorcerer Supreme than what Doctor Strange was. And then you also get to have Wong, and Wong is like, hey, you can't just be this person. Like, you can't, like, Clea's like, oh, I'm a warlord. They're out here thinking
Yeah,
like they can just do whatever they want. It's like, nah, that's not gonna happen on my watch. And Wong is like, hey, like, you're the Sorcerer Supreme, so you should defend this space, but you can't just do it with reckless abandon. You can't just like be gutting people because you're the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth. And Clea, because she's the Dark Dimension Sorcerer Supreme, is like, well, why not? you know? So also too, I see you're all showing the conversation between Doom and Clea here too, which
yeah.
is an amazing conversation. And I will say, man, like Doom has been like, it's crazy because I've been reading a lot of Doom lately. I don't read Fantastic Four right now. And I'm sure Doom is probably doing some like really antagonistic type of stuff in Fantastic Four. But all the comics I happen to be reading have Doom like having conversations with people where he's trying to like flex. And then there are people that are kind of like trying to put him in his place to varying degrees of success. But like, this is a great demonstration of Clea just showing like, hey, Doom, listen, I'm doing what I'm doing. Another example of that is Doom had a conversation with Storm just a couple months back in an X-Men comic, and Storm is flexing on Doom there too, even though Doom is like trying to assert himself somewhat, but it's not working with Storm. And it's just like one of these things where it's like, it's so cool, especially like in that scenario, because that's actually kind of like a callback to Storm and Doom having dinner beforehand, and him like kind of feeling Storm and trying to see if he can maybe like woo her a little bit, which is like a wild thing, but but it does happen where you're like, if Doom could mess around and like be Storm's T'Challa, he would.
I'm sharing this because this is part of like what Joe's talking about, like the art here. It's adequate, you can see where it's doing this thing, and right from the next, like from this page to the next one, it turns into the panel he doesn't like. But that's where that panel that he doesn't like is there.
She
But
turns into a dark dimension being right there.
here's the thing. He showcases the panel he doesn't like, and then you go into this.
Right.
And that panel was his takeaway of that page. But and that's where my argument that I think some of this was a little rushed, maybe to get it out for the movie, especially since, like he said, for me, I have my pre-order list. It says May 18th for issue 3. Joe says June. I don't know where he looked, but
Comixology.
okay. So yeah, so I'm looking at Marvel.com, and that's where So who knows? Like the fact that there's a variance on two different places is that it might be delayed. Maybe it might be somewhere in between, or they don't even know when it's coming out just yet. Number 3, which speaks to that. The fact that this book might have been a little rushed. It might have been something that was going to come out through the summer, and they pushed it through spring. Yeah,
absolutely. Also, too, allow me just to say real quick before I forget.
Okay.
If you're a Doctor Strange fan, you might want to consider reading The Death of Doctor Strange. And the main reason I say that is just because, I feel like it's a good story, just generally speaking. But also, too, it's one of those things where, a lot of the time, like Doctor Strange people kind of define things as like the classic Doctor Strange, which was like, like when he was like just like super uber magical and whatever, like he could do whatever he wanted. Versus the modern Doctor Strange, this is when after they kind of like nerfed him a little bit, and he like can't do quite as much, and like literally the Death of Doctor Strange is like a love letter to the classic Doctor Strange, where it's like, Doctor Strange dies, and as a failsafe of him dying, he casts like a spell that brings an older version of himself to be able to it's not really spoilers. It's like literally first issue type stuff. Literally first half of the first issue type stuff, where it's like he has an older version of himself that will investigate his own murder. And so like the Doctor Strange from Death of Doctor Strange is like the classic kind of 60s Doctor Strange that like literally is like by the hoary host of Hogarth. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude. And like manifesting inside the modern Marvel comic universe to solve his own murder. And it's awesome, because if you've ever read any of those old comics, it's like Doctor Strange doesn't act like this anymore, but it's like this is that Doctor Strange in the modern MCU, and just like the modern Marvel comic book universe, like in the 616, trying to operate. And it's a cool thing to like read and to be a part of. So I'm just saying, like, if you're like, oh man, like I'm a Doctor Strange fan, you're gonna love that.
Jay, what were you gonna say before Larry rudely interrupted you?
Oh no, I was just gonna say the name we're all not recalling is the Blasphemy Cartel.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know why I didn't remember that. Like, I love that.
Yeah. No, it's a great name. It's a great name. Blasphemy Cartel.
Yeah.
Like where they were like I don't know if the Shrouded Bazaars ever appeared before this.
My band name.
Right. Right. But both the Blasphemy Cartel and the Shrouded Bazaar are both things where I'm like, man, those are good names, man.
Yeah. No, but Shrouded Bazaar, like, I mean, yeah, it sounds cool, but it's not new.
It does. Nobody's saying it's new. What we're saying is it's a good name.
Yeah, but they all have good names. The Goblin Market.
Goblin Market's not as good of a name as Shrouded Bazaar.
Yeah, it is. It actually looked better than this.
Goblin Market?
Yeah, and Hellboy 2.
I don't know.
No, it looked better. Like, you saw it. Like no.
If you're saying, like, I'm not talking about aesthetics, because I mean, I'm not trying to say that the thing should look better, because it's derivative.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the derivative thing they gave a good name to, which is impressive, because it's the 11th iteration of it.
I don't know. Shrouded Market seems like somebody's gonna sell me halal meat.
But that's not the name of it. It's Shrouded Bazaar.
Look, even more halal meat.
and that's okay.
we should probably rate this book.
We still got like 6 minutes.
Let's do it. We can rate it.
For me, it's a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. Oz, I don't know what he thought of it because everybody kept cutting him off. So Oz, what number you give it, and why? Explain your work. Show your work in these last 6 minutes. Feel free to use up the whole time.
I'm gonna go with 4 because it's just a good jumping on point. Like you said, if you haven't been reading Doctor Strange, it's a good place to start. That's one of the more common questions I get is where do I jump on to whatever character? Well, this is one for Strange. I think at the end of this series, is it a limited run or a full?
Yeah, 4 issues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so at
limited.
the end of these 4 issues, I'm pretty sure, like you guys were saying, Doctor Strange will be back.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, man, what do you give this?
I'll give it a 2.5.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
I'm really not feeling the art.
Man,
It's
just
got a couple of cool concepts in it, and I think it can get better, but so far it's not really doing it for me.
I really think, Jay, I'm not telling you to rethink your review, but just the word bubble, the caption boxes, the internal monologue alone in these 2 books is a 3. Like that's 3 points. That's 3 points right to start off.
I'm personally shocked. I was like 2.5. I was like, man, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just hitting me the wrong way, I guess.
That's okay.
Larry, man,
I'm gonna give it a 4.
4.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, it's the art. Like the art is what holds it back. And I don't mean to say that like the artist is like a bad artist. It honestly is one of these things where when you read a book and you have a story and you feel like it begs for elevated art, that's a problem. And it's what, and that's, hey, look, and I don't know that that's on the artist, because the artist I don't feel is a bad artist. That might be an editorial decision. Like, maybe somebody, like maybe the editor didn't find the right artist for this title. And that might, for a number of different reasons. Who knows?
I really think it's a time thing, because you look at the first opening 2 pages of the first issue. Yeah. It's like, I'm the harvestman. And just that it teases you the second issue right there. Look, he looks amazing. He never looks nearly as amazing in the second issue.
No, and I would agree with you. And it's interesting because I did hear both you and Jay talk about the Harvestman earlier. And, I know Jay wasn't as big of a fan of the character design. I personally don't have an issue with the character design as well. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's the best character design I've ever seen. But at the same time, I feel like, no, I mean, it'll work. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, but what I will say is this, is I do feel like a different artist might have made that character pop in a way that would have pleased you, myself, Oz, and Jay. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, it is what it is.
You said this guy is a good artist?
I don't know that I said he was a good artist as much as I said he wasn't a bad artist. Or it's a guy or it's a girl. I don't even remember who the artist is, but
it's a guy, Marcello Fiera.
Yeah, I don't know that it's I would, based on the book, I wouldn't say it's a bad artist, but but it's not great. But more than anything, I will just say that like this book, I feel like people would have felt different about it if there was a different artist on the book, because the story's there. And even like, the idea that when they talk about, oh, Death is enlisting a Sorcerer Supreme, like that's awesome. And the idea that they were like Clea even comes up with names. Like, what do you call the Sorcerer Supreme for death? And they're like, is that like the next the
Zoom in,
necromancer Nonpareil, huh?
Nah, Jay's showing examples of him not being good, and I can't see anything. I just see little tiny tiles. You gotta zoom in.
This page doesn't have a zoom in.
I feel like you can zoom in. I don't remember how you zoom in on a web page.
F11.
Oh, there you go. F11, Jay. Yeah.
Maybe F10. No, Control Plus. That's sorry.
or she also says the Death Lord dominant, and I'm like, that's just a fun conversation to have in a comic book where it's like, what do you call the Sorcerer Supreme for death? You know? And I'm like, that's cool. Like, is this an idea of like a bad picture, Jay?
I think it's pretty bad.
I mean
it's with markers on a trading card.
Like, it's not a great picture, but as like we've all seen far worse pictures of Spider-Man and Venom. Like, whether you're talking about together or individually. And like Mo said, it's markers on a trading card. It's like, for all we know, that was done in 10 minutes.
He did that in this amount of
Yeah. So, but and I get more than anything, like I said, I feel like this could be an editorial thing here where it's like, or it could be a company mandate kind of thing. Like, maybe Marvel doesn't believe that Clea as Sorcerer Supreme is going to be a big book, so they don't put like a top-notch artist on it. You know what I mean? It's like that could be the thing because I mean, like that is a thing where people are like, there's a vocal minority of people that are like, we don't want women replacing our legacy characters. So, I mean, that's definitely a worse picture, Jay. Who's that supposed to be?
Black Dynamite.
Oh, gee. Yeah, I would not have guessed that at all.
Yeah, and this isn't on a sketch card, so.
But it's also Black Dynamite, Jay.
All right.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, either way. But anyway.
Look, it looks like this is his best work in this book. He gave it his all.
And that could be the case. Why are you joking?
And that's the thing, when you think about the Huntsman, but you look at the cover for issue 2, I mean the Harvestman, and the cover, like,
yeah, the cover's good.
It's crazy,
Did they do the cover?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, when we talk about design, it's like this whole book, the art in this book feels rushed. The story doesn't. The story feels thought out, and that's where the disconnect is. That's where it knocks off 2.5 points for Jay, 1 for me.
Yeah. And even the conversation they have where they talk about the Huntsman, is that the same artist?
Yeah.
Okay, look, that's not a good picture of Jubilee. I'll give you that. Is that on sketch card too?
No, it looks like a white cover.
Yeah.
Oh. Look,
now I have seen bad pictures of Jubilee in actual comics too. So
Jay's really offended now. He's like, "This is absolutely a trash artist because he didn't do Jubilee right." I'm so mad at Jay. Jay gets whatever he wants. This fool get to handpick a whole team of X-Men for an X-Men book. I was like, what? Look, this fool put a thing in chat. He's like, I'm in. And in our Discord. And this fool, it's a book where it's like Wolverine, friggin' Laura Kinney Wolverine with Jubilee, Boom Boom, and Dazzler. I was like, I'm like, Jay must have compromising pictures of Jordan D. White. Because this fool okayed a book only for Jay. He was like, "Oh, whatever you want, Jay. Whatever X-Men team you want, man. Just give me the names." He's like, "We're gonna make sure issue 2 has a cameo from Speedball." I'm like, "What? Why is Speedball here? He doesn't know any of those people." Crazy, man. Whatever. But anyway, yeah, it's about that time. We should go ahead and do some closing thoughts. Look, Jay, you're already talking, or you're already laughing. Give us some closing thoughts, man.
I don't remember what I was gonna say, but check out our Discord. It's pretty cool.
There it is. Rousing endorsements from Jay. Like, it's pretty cool is actually pretty much as excited as Jay's going to get about anything. Oscor, give us some final thoughts, man.
Some people, I don't know if this happened to you, but some people complain to me about how episode 1 of Moon Knight, they cut out all the action scenes. And if that's the case, if you feel that way, watch episode 3 because it kind of pays off. I like what they did there.
There you go. Most
Oh.
Magnum. Final thoughts.
If you like Oz's hat, you can get it at fantasticforum.live, and it would help Larry from having to find a job. Do that, buy it, and rock it, and buy it as a gift. People like it. It's a F. Like, yeah. I still don't know why we don't have one that says F it, but you know,
You just got to design it.
what's next? Yeah, maybe next. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I mean, you can go on our socials and like and dislike or whatever, but I mean, who really cares other than the algorithm, right?
There it is. I agree with Moses. Like, listen to Moses. Buy our merchandise so I can be Jabba's incarnation season.
Look at his
3.
ugly ass shirt. Like, he could be wearing an awesome F shirt on the camera, and now he's wearing this weird blue shirt that blends with his light.
It's a Transformer shirt.
Yeah, but you don't even see. It's not even framed where you see the logo, so it just looks like you got it at Old Navy at like 2 for $10.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's not your fault. You don't have a job. If these people would buy the merch, you'd have a cool
Listen,
shirt.
listen, buy our merch so that I can have enough money to get better camera angles. Please.
Your shirt's not even that ugly. I just made them feel guilty for you having an ugly shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Like, listen, because I need to get Fantastic Four merch too, just like you do. So listen. Get the merch. If you get the merch, I'll get the merch, and then we'll all be supporting Fantastic Forum. What are you gonna say, Mo?
No, it's just, you'd be wearing a Fantastic Four shirt, but you just can't afford it.
Right. Look, it's exclusive. It's like couture. Fantastic. It's comic book couture. Fantastic Forum stuff. So go get it if you love our show and if you love comics, either or. And also do what Mo says in regards to following our social, and do what Joe says in regards to jumping on the Discord, and do what Oz says in regards to not being an unproductive member of society. We're the Fantastic Forum. We'll be back next week. Thank you so much. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
I blame Jay.
Jay's on that water.
He's like, oh, we're ending the show.